Ethan Sacks and Paolo Villanelli conclude their Terminus Gauntlet storyline as Valance is reunited with one of the hunters who betrayed him to Darth Vader and is forced to team with the hunter to take down the Ohnaka Gang and save the rebels from certain death. Ethan Sacks does a great job finishing up his Terminus Gauntlet arc, filling the issue with lots of fun action that depicts Valance almost like a slasher movie monster, hunting the weak-way pirates through the dark ship and dispatching them in quite fun and creative ways. Ethan also again touches on Valance's turbulent relationship and past with Han Solo, and how the man influences the hunter's attitude towards the rebellion, and how Valance sees he owes a debt to Han, which leads perfectly into the upcoming War of the Bounty Hunters storyline. Sacks also puts characters like Losha and the returning Tonga on a course that will lead them into the big hunter story as well, so I'm interested to see how he's going to balance all of these storylines through the main event. Paolo Villanelli continues his awesome and fast-paced action artwork, focusing heavily on action this issue. One thing I enjoyed about the issue was, of course, the slasher movie monster that they depicted Valance as, and here we have Valance drawn in a way that kind of makes it look like we're looking up at him, giving him this kind of larger-than-life, in-charge attitude to him, and he totally was in charge of the entire situation throughout the book, and it came through really well in Paolo's art. Bounty Hunters issue 10 was a great conclusion to the Terminus storyline, further diving into the history Valance has with Han Solo as we move closer to the big War of the Bounty Hunters storyline, while also letting loose with some tense action and adventure. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10. Bounty Hunters issue 10 finds the young Valance confronted by an officer in the Imperial forward base on Golosk, where they tell the pilot they had to amputate his leg and his rank doesn't qualify him for Imperial cybernetics, and he definitely cannot afford them. Valance says that he will pay for them, he just wants to be fixed up and put back in a TIE fighter. The officer says that there is no way the Empire will ever trust him again with a ship, now thanks to his incompetence, and he will get an infantry spot if he is lucky. Valance demands the officer leave before he beats him to death with the med droid, as Han Solo arrives, making Valance wonder if he's there to gloat. Han says that's not something he would do to someone in Valance's condition, knowing the man wants back in the Navy despite having an actual out. Valance knows the man won't understand, since what does a scoundrel like him know about fighting for a cause bigger than himself, wanting him to keep his pity to himself since he's going to earn his way back to his ship and show how valuable he is. He talks about how he always wanted to just be an Imperial pilot, and if he can't do that, maybe he should have died in the crash. He apologizes to Han for risking his life, thanking him, but Han Solo has already left the med bay. In the present, Dengar says it's not like Valance to retreat, and he's up to something obviously. Skragg says that the only reason Dengar is still alive is because he promised them something valuable to the Empire was aboard the ship. Valance meanwhile climbs along the hull of the ship, using his enhancements to jack into one of the ports that he opens, shooting dead one of the pirates inside as he damns the name Han Solo, since he was the one who told him to stay away from causes, so what's he gotten him into now? Back on Rushen, Losha helps Tonga outside, telling her not to push herself too hard and she can take all the time she needs to recover on their farm. Tonga says they aren't going back there just yet, but Losha wonders if she has learned anything from almost dying. Tonga tells her wife that this isn't about revenge, it's something she has to do, and in dying she did learn something, that she can't do it alone and won't do it without Losha. She kisses her wife as the Nexu trainer says that he knows that they are going after Nakano Lash's killers, which means they are going also after his friend's killers, wanting the women to take his Nexu with them for protection. The pirates meanwhile secure the ship's engine room along with the captured rebels, as Private Sproul whispers to her friends that if they could just get closer to her, she can deactivate their cuffs while the guards aren't looking. The guards soon hear a noise, thinking it to be another rebel they missed. They go to investigate, walking through the dimly lit corridors when suddenly Valance grabs them both, burning them to death in the heat sinks of the engine. A pirate gets the drop on him though, but luckily Sproul has freed herself, hitting the pirate on the head with a pipe and knocking him out. The other rebels are freed and Valance says that they aren't safe just yet, wondering what the pirates could want. Sproul doesn't know since there's nothing valuable on the transport, just mining supplies. She knows none of this makes sense since she found scorching around the hyperdrive motivator, as if someone had sabotaged it. Valance gets an idea as on the bridge, the traitorous Commander Hill welcomes Skragg and her crew aboard as Dengar introduces Commander Hill Hill, his old friend. Hill says that Dengar looks a lot different since their days racing on Corellia. Skragg cuts their reunion short, wanting the transponder codes for every ship in the Rebel Armada and the Empire will pay for them. Hill says that it's all in his mind, wondering if Skragg thinks him naive, since blind trust is what got the rebellion crushed at Hoth. Suddenly the power is cut and Dengar knows it's Valance, angering Skragg, who demands they tear the ship apart until they find him. Light years away, Valance's X-Wing continues sending out its signal until it is met by Zuckuss and 4 LOM, who find the distress signal, knowing it's the old guild signature and it belongs to Valance, intending on following the signal back to its destination. The pirates meanwhile continue their search for Valance, complaining that this was meant to be an easy job, making them miss the days of Hondo Ohnaka and when he was in charge. Suddenly the pirates are trapped in the hallway by Valance, who blows up the windows next to them, causing the men to be thrown into the vacuum of space. Skragg and Dengar meanwhile find more dead pirates when they are attacked by a lone rebel soldier, who kills one of Skragg's men before the pirate queen slashes him to pieces with her vibro knife, wondering if he knows how many she has killed to gain captaincy of the gang, knowing one more body is nothing to her. Dengar quietly tells Hill that the first chance they get, they're gonna kill Skragg, and Hill is more than happy to, since it means one less share of the data money they plan on selling to the Empire. Valance continues taking down pirates as Skragg's engineer brings the power back on. She demands her men hunt and kill whoever is left, taking no prisoners, as Valance appears as the lights come on, attacking the men in the engine room and pushing Skragg back into Dengar, who grabs the woman. Valance is surprised to see his old rival there, as Dengar has his hands bound by Skragg, who slips free from his grasp and escapes down the hallway, telling Dengar she should have killed him when she caught him cheating at Sabak. Hill manages to get a blaster trained on Valance, saying the hunter ruined his chance to get out of there, knowing the hunter doesn't know what it's like to be indoctrinated to believe in a great hope and find out it's all hopeless. Private Sproul smashes him on the head with a pipe, knowing that some of them still believe. Dengar, still bound by the hands, races back to the ship, trying to disengage it from the Pride of Jedha, but Valance arrives, hitting him in the face. Dengar can see that Valance still holds some grudges despite him saving him back in the engine room, but Valance just socks him in the gut again, telling him he does hold grudges, like how when a hunter sold him and his crew out to Darth Vader. Dengar takes offense, saying that he first loses out on the Han Solo bounty to Boba Fett, who's probably already taken him to Jabba, then he runs into the one pirate he owes money to, then he runs into Valance. Valance is shocked to learn about Han Solo's bounty, kicking Dengar in the face and knocking him out, getting him aboard the pirate ship and undocking, jumping into hyperspace as Condra, who received Valance's message from the X-Wing, arrives with the fleet. Condra tells Valance that it was clever using the old guild codes, but soon finds he's not actually talking to Valance, but Private Sproul, who tells Condra that Valance just left, but she doesn't know where he's off to, but knows she wouldn't want to be the person he's heading after.